1. I have been working at a certain fast food restaurant for over 2 years, and I have never been as disrespected as badly as by this customer. It was a Sunday morning when this old man goes to the drive-thru and orders a sausage, egg, and cheese wrap. The person taking his order repeats his order back to him as a sausage breakfast wrap, because that's what the product is called and that's what appears on the screen. He then starts to get mad and insists my coworker repeat his order exactly as he said it, i.e. including everything inside the wrap. At this point, we were a bit confused as to why he was being so adamant about this, when it's literally the same thing as he's been rambling on for minutes at the drive-thru speaker about, with a long line of cars behind him. So my coworker does as he requested, and that was that. Ha! We thought so too. When he drove up to the window, he started berating me about the proper way to take an order, because apparently he knows how to do it because he has so much experience in customer service. Anyway, since I was not the person who took his order, I asked my coworker what the heck this guy's talking about, and she started to talk to him. She calmly explained to him that what he was describing was the exact product that she had repeated back to him. But this man, refused to listen and just lost his shit. He began to raise his voice at my coworker, and when I noticed that she was losing her voice and her words, I decided to step in and try to de-escalate the situation. And try I did. I told him that he did not need to shout at us, but that only made him shout louder. He screamed, "What? What?" consecutively. That's when I had enough and asked him, "So you can't hear us, sir?" Oh boy, was his face priceless. He stared at me with so much anger for I don't know how long before asking for his wrap, which I was holding the entire time. To put a cherry on top of this fantastic sundae, he crumpled up his money and threw it onto the ground outside in the cold, then proceeded to ask for his change. It took a lot in me not to throw the change in his face, but I managed to put it gently into his open palm. Then I smiled at him and told him to have a great day. He did that, starting with a lot of hate again, but I kept smiling at him. After a while, he angrily drove off, and all was well. Well, not really. The next customer was very sympathetic, and that's when the adrenaline faded and I started to uncontrollably shake. Then the tears came, yikes. I was so shaken because I've never been treated like that before, and I was honestly terrified of the man screaming at me. I don't know why he felt like it was acceptable to treat other people like trash. Maybe he was going through something, but that still does not give him an excuse to treat others without respect. I've been reflecting on this incident, and I was wondering what other people in a similar situation would have done. If you have any ideas or suggestions, in case something like this happens again, please leave a comment. Thank you. 2. So after 5.5 years, I'm out. It's been great. I've learned a lot about myself and other people. I felt compelled to tell y'all what's worked for me. Too many servers expect to get tipped fat with minimal effort. My job as a server is to give the guests the best possible experience when dining with me. Guests, after all, are the ones that pay my bills. After serving for just over 3 years, I switched to strictly bartending in my restaurant. Bartending is where my income took off. I work at a popular steakhouse. My number one tip is don't stop smiling. When you greet your table, smile. When you're taking their order, smile. When you invite them back, smile. It might feel unnatural at first, smiling so much, but once again, it's about the guest experience, it's not about how you feel. Eye contact and a quick smile is a powerful thing. Each and every table give your full attention when you're at their table. That means no looking around, no waiting impatiently for them to order. Be there 100%, people can sense if you're not. Once your table gets food, I've learned a lot of people don't know what they want until you ask them. For example, a table gets ribs, baked potato, and salad. I will always ask if I can get them anything else to go with their meal. Extra barbecue sauce, more butter or sour cream for their potato, extra salad dressing. People don't know what they want until you give them options. This also helps with how many times you have to visit a table. If they think that extra butter may be nice, you have asked them before they have even had to ask for it. Now that's great service. You also get them taken care of, resulting in less trips to the table. Anytime you can anticipate a guest's needs or wants before they ask for it, you will be tipped better. My next tip is money, and how to be better with it. I have an envelope at home that every single night I put almost all my tips in. My system is every single 150, 20, 10, and 5 goes in the envelopes, and the $1 bills I accumulate are my spending money. I drink a lot of gas station drinks. With this system, I've been able to pay a full mortgage, $1,200. Utilities, $300, car, $221. I eat most of my food at the restaurant because I have been able to get free food whenever I want by making deals with my managers. What do I have to do for you to get this steak for free? Occasionally I will have to clean a fridge or a drain, but the willingness I had to do something for them gets the food. Next tip. Regulars are where the money is at. As a server, I've had a few regulars. As soon as I started bartending, I inherited a bunch of regulars. Get to know your regulars' names, drinks, and orders. People love to feel important and remembered. People that come in often get a sense of pride when you remember their order that will get you tipped, probably more than anything else. When I would see regulars walk in, I would have their drink ready for them before they even sat down. Serving, like any other craft, needs to be continually worked on. Always strive to be better and do better. I've gotten to the point where I only have to work 3 days a week, and all of my bills and responsibilities are paid for. My hourly is usually between $30 to $45 an hour. Granted, I have made a lot more and a lot less. My last tip is be yourself. Let your personality shine through at your tables. If you're awkward, quirky, goofy, let that shine through and be genuine and gracious to all your guests. 3. So I started working in a mostly family-run Chinese restaurant literally 2 days ago. I don't know all the rules and procedures, but I'm the only English-speaking person there, besides the 14-year-old son of my boss who is rarely there. I got an order yesterday online and didn't realize that I needed to swipe over and look at the quantity of the meals ordered. I thought if they ordered 2 General Tso's chickens it would just show up twice, you know? So I print off this much smaller order and it gets made and run over to this lady's house. Then while I'm on a delivery she calls and says she didn't get all of her food, so I make another run out there. Her address was wrong, so I had to call her, and before she would tell me what her address was, she forced me to sit in the parking lot and go through her bag. I pulled out 1 of 4 bags of crab rangoon and said I have 1 rangoon and then she cut me off and screamed, "No, that's not right, go back." I replied with, "Ma'am, I'm just pulling things out of the bag one by one and listing them. It looks like you have all of your crab rangoon. 4 bags?" She calmed down and let me finish. Once I got to her house, I apologized for her wait and told her that we have some coupons for her the next time she came in. She proceeded to stand in the doorway and go through her entire receipt, recalculate how much she owed us, and take a picture of it on her daughter's phone. The whole process took like 10 to 15 minutes. I was outside freezing in Indiana October last week, before telling me that if she got charged twice or was overcharged, she'd be suing. I roll my eyes behind her back and wish her a nice night, but by the time I got back she had called again about her egg rolls that were missing. Admittedly, that was a kitchen mistake and I corrected it and took $2.50 off her bill before telling her that she would have some free ones the next time she came in. She flew off the handle, screaming at me about being charged twice. How the one receipt she signed had $30 worth of food, and the second one had $70, and if she was paying over $100, her total was $85, then she didn't know what kind of game we were playing, what angle we were coming from, etc. Calmly, I tell her that there's no angle, this is just a mistake. My boss gestures at the receipt she signed and tells me that she only got charged for the $85 in the first place. She didn't pay for her first order. I tell her this, and she screams back about how, "I signed that receipt, and if you charge my card, I'll come after you. I know what you look like." Finally, I had to get firm and say, "Ma'am, I'm trying to help you. I cannot help you if you yell at me, now it sounds like." At this point she cut me off, calling me a crazy bitch, and saying things like, "Oh my fucking god, is this really happening?" She talks over me, telling me how sick she is of this mess, and how she had to wait 2 hours for her food, how angry she is. I decided to just shut up and let her finish. Once she's done ranting, I tell her that her card has only been charged once, how she didn't even pay the first time because we didn't run her credit card. After we sort everything out, she says, "Thank you for calming down, and thank you for calming me down. Have a nice night." And then she hung up. 4. I was working at a terrible restaurant at the time. Not too expensive, but expensive enough to demand the quality of the food and service is good. The owner didn't show up with groceries that day, and we had 10 tables of 2 and a 4-person table dining that evening. It was just me and the chef for the whole restaurant, and we decided to do our best to give the customers the best experience we could provide. This table of 4 comes in. I greet them, show them to their table. We have a glass wall next to the water. They are quite charmed with. Within minutes, they want to move because the sun down over the water is bothering them. Fine. Their new table didn't have that annoying sun, but also no view, and they sure let me know they weren't happy. I offered them 3 other tables, but they were sick of moving around. They ask for drinks. What do I have for beers and wines? I list everything I know we have, and this one woman, let's call her SB for super bitch, opens the menu and starts asking for the 2 drinks I didn't list because we don't have them. She asks why it's in the menu when we don't have it. I explain it didn't come in today. She sighs and goes with her second choice, although it's not what she wanted, and don't expect a tip tonight. Of course, the wine she chooses wasn't at the right temperature, and I made her feel obligated to take the bottle anyway. 'Cause you don't have any other good stuff. Then comes the food choices. SB is gluten-free, vegan, no carbs, not allergic, but misinformed health freak, doesn't eat anything. She wants no starter and just fries and ketchup for dinner. Then comes PE, picky eater, who informs us about the vegetarian carpaccio option. Say what now? And then settles for the goat cheese pastry. But only if the goat has had a nice life. And the mushroom risotto. And JC, just confusing, wants the sashimi. I inform her that we don't have soy sauce, so she can have it without soy sauce or choose another dish. She asks if we have any other sauces, and I tell her what we have, and she asks for Worcestershire sauce. I ask her if she's sure, and she tells me she knows what she wants. Okay. And the main dish, the duck, but with fries instead of mashed potatoes with truffle. And QM, quiet man, is actually quite friendly and is able to order normally from the menu. Huh. So the starters come in, and of course the table is upset before they start. They didn't get any bread. They said no. And now SB, who didn't order a starter, has nothing to eat. JC tries her sashimi with Worcestershire sauce, and starts complaining it tastes terrible, and I quote, "Where's the soy? This isn't soy." Then the main dish is served. The chef prepared a big bowl with fries I think 10 people could eat from, cause he saw me struggling with these people, so we thought we would be in the clear. I serve an empty plate with 3 types of sauce for SB, the other dishes, and the big bowl of fries. SB puts the whole bowl of fries on her plate, and JC and PE start complaining there's no fries for them. I explain the fries are meant for all of them, and there's a grabber to put them on your plate, but SB refuses to give up the massive bowl of fries, telling me that's all hers. I want to take the bowl back and put it in 4 separate bowls, but she looks like she'll attack me if I touch them. Chef makes more fries to get me out of it, and I serve them. I ask them if they want more drinks, just water, 'cause I'll mess it up anyway. Of course, the fries weren't crispy enough, and the meat wasn't tasty enough, and the veggies weren't veggie enough, or were undercooked, although the other tables didn't seem to notice, and they actually told me they felt awful for me having to deal with them. Also, PE was missing the truffle, which was shown clearly on the menu, but in the mashed potatoes she didn't want. I inform if they want dessert. Yes, if I'm capable of doing at least dessert right. Wow. SB then says, "We want to share a cheese plate."
1 plate we can all share. For 1 person.
I don't want blue cheese. I don't like that one.
If we have 1 plate, we can all pick our favorite cheese. You don't need to eat the blue one.
Okay. Do you want cheese for 4 people on 1 plate, or do you just want 1 dessert and all share that one?
1 dessert, 1 person, 1 plate we share.
Oh dear, is it so difficult for you again? As long as I don't get the blue one. Thank you, dear. That will be all, says Quiet Man. So I inform the chef, he makes up a rich plate of cheese for 1, and I bring it to the table, and SB starts rolling her eyes and asks, "Can't you get anything right? We asked for 1 plate, but with cheese for 4, obviously. There isn't nearly enough for the 4 of us. How is it they haven't fired you yet?" So I bring back the plate. The chef makes it a big plate. I serve it. Then I ask them to leave. They told me they want coffee and tea. I say we close up. They say there are more people and they're not leaving. I give them the receipt. Chef brings it and asks them that if there's a problem, they can come to the back and talk it out. They pay the exact amount and leave. I hope to never see them again. Ever. 5. So here's a PSA on things you should or shouldn't do when going to a bakery. Number 1. Order a ton of bread rolls without placing an order. So this happened a while ago. It was about 8 AM. This lady walks in and orders about 50 bread rolls. The only thing was we don't have that many sitting in the counter. If you're gonna order 20 rolls or more, please call in before. Especially in the morning where they sell like crazy. And if you basically buy our whole stock, it makes our life very hard because we A. have to bake new ones, and B. have to tell every customer we're out. Which forces them to choose another option, costing us valuable time. If you pre-order your bread rolls, we can make them ahead of time and reserve them for you, which makes it easier for all of us. Number 2, not bringing enough cash. While I don't know what the situation is where you live, I can say that we don't accept credit or debit cards. So if you order 50 bread rolls without a pre-order and then don't even have the cash, it's costing us so much time because at 8 AM there's like 20 people in line wanting to buy their breakfast. And you having to run back into some shop or other going to the bank just increases the waiting time. But even worse is number 3, bringing too much cash. If you're gonna order a croissant in the morning, please make sure you have smaller banknotes. If you pay with €50, for a $1.10 croissant, we have to basically empty our entire register to give you change, leaving us with no change for other customers. Number 4, please choose before you order. This one is especially true at times where the bakery is very full. If you are standing in line, you should choose what you want. Because if it's your turn and you take 10 minutes just choosing 1 bread roll, you're slowing down the traffic immensely. This doesn't even annoy me as much as it annoys other customers. Number 5, be polite. I shouldn't have to include this, but if you want to buy some raisin bread, just don't stand 10 feet away from the counter, lean against a pillar and scream, "Raisin bread!" and then complain about why the customer service might be a bit sloppy. Otherwise, we might just send you to the back of the line. P.S. This shouldn't be understood as a list of guidelines or rules you have to follow. But if you want to make our life and yours that much more easier, please respect some of these points, because it really does make our job that much more bearable. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates number 68. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Right. Help me work this one out here. If you go into a restaurant and you tell, in America, I'm talking specifically countries where things are done like they do in America, where the tips are not a bonus, but they are part of the wage, right? So it's only technically optional. So if you walk into a restaurant, you tell your server at the start of the meal, don't expect a tip, why doesn't the server just walk away? Because I don't work for free, I don't expect anyone else to. Oh, and in regards to why certain people treat customers like crap, I think it's because they really enjoy the taste of saliva and poop in their food. Must be. Can't think of any other reason for it. Although, realistically, I know why they don't just walk away, because they'll get fired. It just really annoys me, that sort of thing. I've never even worked for tips, but it really annoys me. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.